change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him alive!
Find it, and let their enemies win.
Hold back!
May knowledge be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
Pasqal, a Magos and a Tech Priest. He comes with some very unique kit, but as an operative, I feel like he is held back by the current state of the game. Pasqal could use a few buffs to really get him into the top echelons of the game, because right now operative is the weakest class. However, he can still be built for either pure support or really high damage, though he lacks the mobility to one-turn most encounters. Unfortunately, I would like to say that building him as an overseer of a servo skull is the way to go. However, it's just so low impact to do AoE analyze and expose weakness. I feel like it'd be disingenuous of me to push that as the build to pick when going as a bounty hunter is so clearly vastly superior, because the amount of damage and impact you have in the combat is just far higher, because you are both better at support and damage than even if you try to build for pure support with the overseer. Whilst Operative has many issues, it's not all doom and gloom, and the Magus that is Pasqal can join the team and do very well in Act 1, and whilst he does drop off a little bit in Act 2, he is still a Locomotive that can build up very powerful damage. So we're not going to worry too much about all that, and we're going to actually look into the build here. So at rank 1 we get Analyze Enemy, which allows us to use the Operative Exploit feature and target that out a bit. We're going to focus on tech use and logics. At rank 3 we're going to get Exposed Weakness, which can lower enemy dodge, parry and armor, which is a very nice use for that. Dismantling Attack comes in at rank 4, which is not the best of heroic actions, but we do pick up Passive Learning, which is going to help get those exploits out main turn. Rank 5 we're going to pick up Ballistic Skill and Scan Mashandarite, which will increase our perception. Rank 6 we get Uncanny Sight, so we can apply exploits to targets we can't see, and then we're going to start leveling intelligence. Rank 7 we get Tactical Knowledge. Unfortunately this has been nerfed and the damage side of things don't stack, but the armor side of things still do. We get some more tech use, and then at rank 8 we get Comprehensive Analysis. This will increase the number of exploits we have, as well as Grenadier, which will increase our attack economy, which is going to be very useful on our operative. Rank 9 we get Dismantling Attack 3, which will lower armor in an AoE and dodge of other enemies from when we take that shot. We're also going to take Logic, and at rank 10 we get more Logic and more Intelligence. Rank 11 we pick up Fresh Target, so we do more damage to enemies at full health, as well as getting Medicaid, so we can use some medkits. Rank 12 we're going to get Joint Analysis. This is going to be the major workhorse of Operative, because it is going to fulfill most of what we're adding to combat, as everyone else is just so much faster and more efficient. We also pick up Aiming Protocols, so when we do swip over to Plasma Cannons, we're going to be able to have much higher stats for doing that, and with higher ballistic skill and dodge reduction. Rank 13 we get Improved Tactics, which lowers the threshold to get the damage boost, as well as giving us more of a damage boost, as well as Perception. Rank 14 we're going to get more Perception, as well as Machine Spirit Scan Protocols, which will allow us to apply AoE exploits even without going into Overseer, and it's actually a little bit more effective to get that one exploit on, because you can choose where that goes. And at rank 15 we take Dismantling Upgrade 2, which will lower the enemy's weapon skill and ballistic skill. It's just a shame that you don't take a shot at everyone with an exploit, which would make this heroic actually very useful. At rank 2, tier 2, we do go into Bounty Hunter, as unfortunately it is just the most useful option for Pasqal. I would love to go Overseer, to go Servo Skull, or to go the Cyber Eagle, but they do need a bit of buff because they add nothing to the tier 1, and AoE, Analyze and Expose Weakness is just too low impact in this high speed meta that we currently have. Maybe in the future when attack economy gets limited, but for now we're going to take the rank 1 upgrade in Bounty Hunter is Hunt Down the Prey, which allows us to give our prey charges, which sets up the whole gimmick of Bounty Hunter. Rank 2 we take Claim the Bounty, which is going to increase our attack economy, and then at rank 3 we get the ever so important Save of the Kill. This means if preys are killed killed by other characters, you take an extra turn, which you can be using to set up exploits and expose weakness, which thus makes the pet entirely redundant. It can also be used to reposition Pasqal to get him ready for his next turn, and you can use that with later abilities like Hot on the Trail to get an extra attack turn. Rank 4, Wild Hunt then comes in, which can sometimes bug out if there are 2 bounty hunters present. Rank 5, we get AP, a ballistic skill increase, and overcharge protocols. This might feel a little bit late for taking Pasqal, but you're going to be mostly focusing as a support character in Act 1, and it's only into Act 2 where you start doing support and attack. At rank 6, we take ballistic skill and heightened concentration. This is probably one of the most important parts of the kit, which is whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit, they gain 8% armor penetration till the end of combat, and this stacks, so this is very useful. Rank 7, we get Cole the Bold. This is changing from how I had previously built him, but this will give us additional ballistic score damage. The target's armor will also be reduced by the target's difficulty tier against all the bounty hunter's attacks until the end of combat. If the target's armor against this attack is below 20%, the target's dodge is also reduced by 3 times target's difficulty tier. Additionally, the target of the bounty hunter attack is increased to plus 16. So basically what you want to be doing here is expose weakness, then Cole the Bold shot. So it's very, very useful. We then take Flay the Bold, which will Cole the Bold additionally remove the target's difficulty tier deflection and willpower and toughness from the target. So it's very good. It's kind of like weak body, weak soul. So that's another upgrade there. We then get some tech use, intelligence. We take filtering protocols, which is when Pasqal uses plasma melter weapons for the first 1 round, he gains +1 AP. This is going to make it more effective for being able to support and also damage. Rank 10, we get Hunting Surge. Whenever an enemy killed by a critical hit scored by the bounty hunter or their ally, the bounty hunter gets 2 times the enemy's difficulty tier percentage damage for 2 rounds. It's a nice little damage increase there. We're going to take Tech Use Intelligence. We'll get Wild Hunt Upgrade 2, which is to get the additional charges. We then take Hunter's Ambush. When the bounty hunter performs a single shot on an immobilized or stunned target, the attack is refunded its cost and does not count for the attack limit once per round. So if you use Grenadier to throw a stun grenade, you can then do an overcharge shot and it's a free attack, so that gives you extra attack economy. Or if you have an arbitrator in your team that's used Law and Order, enemies are going to be immobilized. There's also the immobilizing ring that they can use on all of their abilities, shotgun stuff. So this makes the bounty hunter very good to be paired up with them. We then take Logic, Perception, and we get Pinnacle of Weaponry. This will give our plasma weapons extra damage. And then finally we pick up Hot on the Trail. This can be used to trail an enemy that when it's killed you can get an extra turn. So if a prey dies and you get that half attack economy turn, you can then hot and trail another enemy, and then at rank 16 you take the upgrade for Hot on the Trail to reduce the target's armor and also have unlimited range. Rank 17, we get Perception and Logic, and then we take Inspiring Trophy. When the bounty hunter kills a prey whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher, the bounty hunter additionally gets 2 AP. So picking good targets here will get you additional AP. At rank 19, we get Exposing Communion. When Pasqal's attacks and effects of Exposed Weakness ability gain bonuses against enemies under the effects of Machine, Spirit, Scan, Communication, as if they had 2 more stacks of exploits. So yes, you can get 1 AoE stacks put onto enemies. You can then analyze them and then you can expose them and you get more bonuses to that. We then take Wild Hunt Upgrade 3. Whenever the bounty hunter attacks exactly 1 target, which is marked as paid Wild Hunt, this attack gains 300% damage. So you can build up a lot of damage with bounty hunter, so it is quite a useful tier 2 to go into. Now, Exemplar is where we get additional AP, which makes it so much more comfortable to be both support and damage for that first round. So we get Eager for Battle here and Ballistics Calculations. Ballistics Calculation, if the operative attacks a target that is affected by an exploit from a distance of 7 cells or further, that attack deals 15% damage. So you're going to start wanting to shoot at slightly further away enemies. We also get Tech Use, and at rank 2, we also get Share the Spoils. So whenever an ally kills a prey, the bounty hunter gains half the bonuses granted by Hunt Down the Prey. Rank 3, we get Ballistic Skill and Plasma Weapon Expert. Don't worry about taking this too late because +2 damage isn't exactly going to change much. We then take Precise Attack. The reason we also take Precise Attack is for the upgrade that we get later for that. We'll go more into that once we pick that up. But we also pick up some Tech Use, so these attacks can be landing easier. Rank 5 is the big upgrade in Degraded Defense. Now, rank 5 is also where I want to take Expert Finesse, but it's currently bugged and you cannot take Expert Finesse in Exemplar. I've reported this to the team, but for now we're taking Pounce as a placeholder until we get it, but it increases our allies' critical hit chance against prey trailed or immobilized enemies, and because, like I said, your arbitrator is going to be immobilizing things, they'll enjoy that critical hit chance. We then, at rank 6, takes Ballistic Skill, and then finally Insightful Precision. Precise Attack grants the operative bonuses to Perception equal to number of exploits removed. So when you shoot at someone, you can start building up your perception perception more, as well as with some of the joint analysis items we'll cover later. This will increase the amount of armor pen you're gaining on heightened concentration. Rank 7 we then take piercing shot because well, extra armor penetration, and against prey it always critical hits. We then increase some more intelligence. We then get pierce and ruin, which is each enemy affected by piercing shot also has their armor reduced. Persistence of the forge is very good for dodge reduction and taking multiple attacks. We then pick up logic and vital points at rank 9. Rank 10 we get our AP increase, and then rank 11 is when the operative's perception bonus is 10 or higher. They gain 1 AP and ignore enemies' deflection. Very good for a lot of high deflection enemies. We then pick up some more logic. At rank 12 we get Tide of Excellent, which is whenever we pop that we get x1 base damage and 2% arm penetration. We then get some Medicate. Tide of Excellence would be better if your AoE shots procced on all of them, but it will only proc once. We then get Pierce the Armor, which is whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit, the target's armor is reduced by 8 plus the difficulty tier percentage till the end of combat, and that stacks. We then get some intelligence, we then get perception, we then get Medicaid. At rank 15 we also get deadly aim, which is the more dodge reduction being applied, the more damage we do. Weak body, weak soul is going to absolutely cripple enemies to get the toughness and willpower. You can try to work this in earlier, but I prefer to take it later as I didn't really feel it was necessary earlier. At rank 16 we get to cut to the chase. Less important on Pasqal than other bounty hunters. For your vigilant you'll normally take this much earlier, but whenever the bounty hunter scores a critical hit for the first time around, they gain the target's difficulty tier movement points. We then start increasing Medicaid just because we've run out of tech and logic. Sharpshooter is going to be if the operative has not moved this turn, they deal 4 more damage with single shot attacks for every 5 cells between them and the target. They gain 8 ballistic skill. So shooting targets 10 cells away, that's an extra 8 base damage. Beyond that, you're going to start missing because plasma cannons have a range limit of 10. We then take Perfect Spot, which will increase our ballistic skill and perception, which is very useful for a lot of our talents. We get some more perception, and later we take Know It All. The character gains 6% bonus to armor penetration, dodge reduction, and critical hit chance, critical damage, and parry chance. This is going to be based on your intelligence. The reason I take Know It All so late is you don't get his intelligence stacking armor until you're already level 55. We then take Sniper Expertise, which is Perfect Spot additionally grants the operative 13% arm penetration against enemies that are 7 cells away or further. So yeah, you want to be shooting at enemies that are 7 to 10 cells away, if not further, if at all possible. And rank 20, we finish the build with another AP increase, and this brings together our bounty hunter boy. Lastly, we are going to look at items. You're going to want to take things that increase his tech use and his logic, and anything that can help him survive. Late game, you do get some very good items, but they do come in quite late. So from his personal quest line, he gets enhanced data tab mask, which is when the wearer uses machine spirit communion, their intelligence is increased by 5 for each affected target to the end of combat. Very powerful. We also get Omasiah's Holy Symbol. The wearer gains 20 tech use and 20 logic. They can also reroll failed tech use or logic. This is just very useful for going around. You can also take the Warlord's Pendant, which will actually increase his allies' dodge based on his intelligence score. So that is another alternative that you can put in there, and it's very useful to the allies. He picks up the Skitarii Ranger armor. This gives him extra tech use armor, which is very vital because he is very squishy. It also is 2 AP from his reload cost, which is quite nice. We pick up Vid Capture Relay. Whenever the wearer's ally under the effect of joint analysis ability hits a target with an exploit, that the wearer gains 5 perception, so it's very nice building up his perception. We also take the U-turning combi tool. We get 25 bonus tech use, and if we are in medium or heavy armor, the start of their first turn in combat, they gain 22% armor. So Pasqal is going to be hitting 125% armor in the first round, which is very nice to his survival. Plasma gloves give him 10 tech use and 3 damage to plasma weapons. Unfortunately, you can't equip 2 range, so the Omasiah's Providence here is just to look nice. But the best gun we can give him is the Ancient Plasma Rifle, which gives bonuses to his damage based on his intelligence. So it is very powerful. Good damage, good armor pen. Range could be enhanced with the long range lens if you really wanted, but it's not too bad. Boot wise, I gave him awareness armor penetration on single shot attacks from whenever we're in cover. And the backpack he's got is where it suffers 26% less impact and energy damage, and when the wearer suffers impact or energy damage, the attacking enemy suffers 13 power damage. This is just quite useful for his survival, and it makes him pretty much immune to range with how high his armor is, so it's very effective. If you want to change any of those items, do feel free. Looking in for alternative builds, as I've said, I have created a Servo Swarm build, which makes Pasqal even better for supporting the team. However, he will not be doing any damage, and it is unfortunate that most of this is going to require a lot of investment, so it's not going to be as nice to use as other setups, though once you can get Commander's Chrono, it is very good to have in that first turn to be stripping all the enemy of their dodge and armor, so it can be quite useful. If you want to use it, no, I do highly recommend it. It's not going to be the best for unfair, but it will help you trivialize all other difficulties and add a lot of passive benefits to your team, so do check that out in the spreadsheet linked below. But that's all I'm going to have for you. Hopefully we'll see some buffs. I will be trying to push for that with the game balance team, but we'll see what 1.5 brings. And I hope next time I cover Pasqal and his build, I'll be much more positive.